So here we have the ship, the toy, that actually inspired me to really sort of start delving into Trek toys in a more serious, ordered fashion. And as you can see, this is the Enterprise D from Playmates, and it's a European version of the box. You can see it has Bandai in the bottom right there, who are the sort of distributors for Playmates in Europe and so on. Now, I haven't stopped to look at this box because when I started the playlist, I showed you a loose version of the Enterprise D from Playmates. But I thought, in the interest of completeness, I should try and get myself a boxed version of it so you can have a proper look at the full boxed version. So I have done so. Now, I'm just looking at it and it says it requires 3 replaceable R6 batteries, and I'm thinking, what on earth is an R6 battery? So if this doesn't work, I might have to show you the other one in lieu of the one that's in this box, but we'll see how we get on. It may be they're not actually as exotic as it sounds, and they might just be very standard batteries, but it's using a different reference for me. So this Enterprise is reference 6102. It features 4 authentic Starship sounds from the Star Trek TV show, warp drive, impulse power, phasers and photon torpedoes, and it has dual light-up engines. And I'm not anticipating anything to happen when I try and put my hand in there because they haven't put it in as it particularly should be. So, Starship Enterprise there on the side, that's Flaggschiff der Staaten Federation. So I'm guessing it's the flagship of the Federation from that, but clearly this was very much aimed at the European market. So let's flick over onto the let's. Yeah, I don't think the end. They've put the English version. Oh no, they haven't actually. No, that's the French. So you can see that it's very, very much a European version, quite heavily this. So let's go back round. In fact, I'm just looking to see if they've got an English version. No, they haven't. No, so all the side flaps, I'm guessing it's probably on the bottom flap down there, the English version. But it'll just say what it said on the front there. Now let me just turn the light a little bit so you can see more clearly. Okay. So what we have here then is a full breakdown of what you're getting on the from your Enterprise. So going sort of around in this direction, we've got 10 forward lounge, we've got saucer module, we've got reaction control thruster, which would be tiny, upper sensor platform, main bridge, linear phaser array, saucer impulse engine, light up Buzzard hydrogen collector, which is correct, light up warp engines nacelle, battle section, reaction control thruster, docking port, navigational reflector and long range sensor array, forward photon torpedo launcher, captain's yacht. I'm trying to think if we ever saw it. Don't think we ever did. Don't think he ever used it in the entire series or the films of Next Gen. And before you shout me down, I think the captain's yacht we did see was from the Sovereign class. And we also have a lifeboat station. I'm not sure, it would have been an escape pod surely, but anyway. So going down this side here, Starship Enterprise, the Galaxy class flagship of the United Federation of Planets. Press the warp drive or impulse engine buttons to activate warp impulse sounds and light up engines. Press the phaser or photon torpedo buttons to activate weapons systems sounds. Impulse engine activation button there, warp drive activation button, phaser activation button, photon torpedo activation button, and other items in the range here, which include a personal communicator, a shuttlecraft Goddard, and a phaser. So, pretty standard issue Playmates box art and boxed information basically, but as I say, for the sake of completion, I thought it would be good to show you that. And this is copyright and trademark 1993. So, it's over 20, well no, it's over 30 years old now. That's scary. It's over 30 years old, wow. So this must have come out when the show was still airing then, I think, just. Because it's one of those things that always surprises me when I'm looking back at Next Gen, is that it started earlier than I would have given it credit to be starting, but it was during my school years. It only just kept going into my university years, so it was in the 80s originally. So let's just have a quick look at this one, and if necessary, I will sub in my example of it, and we'll see how it gets on. Because, as I say, I haven't actually looked at this. Ooh, okay, interesting. So it's got its nacelles detached at the moment. Ah, good. Okay, I've got an instruction manual for it as well, which is interesting. Let's have a little look at this in passing. It's always nice when I get little elements like this left in the box. So you can see there, I think it's telling you where to apply various stickers, because one of the things I have noticed with these is that you do get a sort of an interesting range of interpretation of where stickers and so on should be applied, and obviously some differences in terms of how well people have done it. So there is that. But it's nice to see the old style Next Generation logo there in the top left, and just sort of various information there about where the batteries are supposed to go and how you put the nacelles on and so on. So that's cool, and just repeated there in various other different languages. So that's nice to have. That's quite means it's relatively complete as these things go. But I'm assuming that it's had stickers pre-applied. So I think I will just. That looks like quite a nice clean one. That's great. So I'm going to move this. Move this light now so we can get a little bit more light on the scene. The problem is the boxes are quite shiny, so they don't really help themselves to show you the box, unfortunately. So, I mean, whilst these are not sort of Diamond Select level of accuracy, because you can already see, I dare say, there's the various sort of screws there, it's nevertheless goes to a really good weight. It's a very, very solid build. I don't think that as I recall, the battle bridge doesn't separate because, as you can see, the electronics buttons are here on the ridge of the neck, so you can't really separate these, because otherwise you'd lose the ability to do the sound effect. Oh! I was not expecting that. Apologies if that was a jump scare. I do apologise. That was not my intention, but clearly someone's left the batteries in the battery compartment, which is down here. So I can now do you a full-on sounds effects, and I don't have to find batteries. Brilliant. Well, that was thoughtful of them. Now, looking at the nacelles, I don't know if there is actually a particular side that they have to go on. They probably are nigh on identical, but you can probably just about make out there are some contacts in there, so they are going to be powered once they're in place, and that's not an unusual. I have seen several examples of other Playmates toys where people put the nacelles on back to front, which just makes me smile, because I just think, did you not see the show? It's like, why would you put that on back to front? I dare say I'll probably make some similarly hilarious error at some point. These early versions of the Playmates, the large Playmate ships, did not come with a stand, which is curious because they did do the Enterprise original series version with a stand, and I have to say, in saying that, I couldn't actually swear to you that the stand then became a thing later on when they did re-releases of the D, but they did do a few releases of the D. I don't have every version of it. For example, on principle, I haven't got the battle damaged version, just because it looks rather daft. It's got great big chunks of it that come out and look like the ship's on fire. You never see that in the series. That's just not a thing. But you can see, it's got a lot of detail on it. I was going to zoom out, but actually I might zoom in just so you can see, the sort of the level of detail that there is there. So you've got a lot of window detail there. One thing I've noticed actually is that this coloration here of the escape pod hatches differs between different versions, I think. So some versions have those in a sort of a more of a golden colour to distinguish them. I think that's right. So this sort of older version is very much so it's less garish in that sense, Now let's just see if this is successfully docked up in terms of the nacelles and so on. So let's run through the sound effects as they're active. Now I think that nacelle did light up initially. Yeah, so it's definitely working. It's definitely glowing. So this is in good shape. This one's it's definitely in good shape. That obviously was the Enterprise going to warp. I'll just pull the camera back a little bit so you can actually see this in full as I'm looking at it, because this is a big old. That's much better. There we go. It's just doesn't zoom out all the way. The joys of having an actual camera to work with. Zoom in a little bit more there. That's better. Okay, let's try the next one. That's a little more random. They just thought they'd light up the nacelles just because they could, I think. For phasers. Oh. Yep, that was a photon torpedo. Now, I don't know if anything else is lighting up at the same time. Let's just have a look at the front. Photon torpedo button is definitely not loving me. There we go. So I think only the nacelles light up, which is a little bit of a shame. But I might just have a quick look at this compared to the original example that I picked up and just see if that does do anything different. I'm not actually sure if I left any batteries in it. Yep, I did. Quick cross check. Yeah, and arguably this one's in slightly better condition in terms of the sound effects, but then I've probably put batteries into this one more recently. Now, this is a nice example actually of what I was mentioning about the stickers. So if you look at this one, these stickers have been applied horizontally, whereas on this one they've been applied vertically. So you get little variations between these ships depending on where people thought it was a good idea to stick the stickers. In fact, this one's got more stickers. This one's got RCS thruster stickers that have been applied here, whereas the other version that I have doesn't actually have these. You can see here these little stickers there, I think were for RCS thrusters. So this one has actually been stickered better than the original version of it that I had that was just loose. So actually I'm quite glad I've got this one, because it does mean it's got slightly better stickers to show you, but I can't swear as to the accuracy of where the stickers have been applied. That's the only thing. So I mean, I had to say, when I got this in hand for the first time, it was a big nostalgia hit for me, this one, and I just thought I would have absolutely loved having this at the time the series was at its peak. Even though I was that bit older, I think that would have been a terrific toy to have. And I don't often react to things strongly, particularly when they're things I haven't had in the past. This one did stir the feels for me, I have to say, because 7 years, loads of films, all of that stuff. It was a big chunk of my life following Star Trek: The Next Generation. There's no two ways about it, and I am unapologetic for that. I don't do cosplay and stuff like that, but I do love the technology and the way that things were sort of reasoned out, and and just the general quality of the writing was generally pretty high. And it paved the way for lots and lots of science fiction series that followed it. There's no two ways about it. And it brought Star Trek back. It brought the franchise back in a way that only the movies had really been able to do with the original series cast up to that point. So it was an incredible feat to pull off when you consider the time that it was actually airing. So this is a really nice one. Now, this has been reissued recently, I believe, and my understanding was that they've used the same mould as this one. I assume that they've probably added more speech effects and things like that to it, but I don't actually have an example of the more modern version of it. Now, this is, at the end of the day, this is a nostalgia channel, so this is the more appropriate one for me to be showing you in that sense. But nonetheless, I would be quite curious to hear in the comments as to whether you think it's worth getting the more up-to-date version of this to show you, because I would quite like to see what they've done with it, what they've chosen to do with it in light of shows like Picard coming out. I don't know if it was before or after Picard in terms of the thought process behind that, but makes perfect sense, of course. So yeah, just let me know in the comments if you had this and you played with this and enjoyed it. I think it looks pretty decent accuracy wise. That looks for all the world like a button then. On Diamond Select that would be a button, but it's not. Shame it doesn't do the separation, that's a bit of a shame. But I think it is a lot harder to do that on these models where obviously you've got the electronics built into it. That would be perhaps asking a bit too much. But yeah, solid toy, I think. Obviously no figures will fit into it, but nonetheless, solid toy. Pretty happy to have that. Well, in fact, I now have two. I have to decide which one to hang on to. Perhaps the other one needs to go on somewhere. But yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think of this one, and do like and subscribe as ever so you can keep up to date with the playlist, and I will crack on with some of the other large ships that Playmates release on the next one. Cheers for now.